In the future, humans will no longer be at the top of the natural food chain. We have been replaced by giant and monstrous creatures. Future humans use the nucleus to destroy one meteor flying to the Earth. But that spreads the radiation into the atmosphere. This leads to organisms on Earth being mutated and becoming much more aggressive. After one night, humans are in danger of becoming extinct. Those who were lucky to survive gathered and fled the wild. But Joel didn't want to stay in a base that everyone found safe. He wanted to leave because he found out that his girlfriend was about 100 kilometers away from him. He decided to find her. Human society is now covered with trees. The scene is like in a beautiful green forest. But nature always has hidden dangers. When Joel came to a house with a lake, a pair of eyes emerged from the lake. It was a huge mutated toad. Maybe it's starving. It shot the tongue at Joel. Luckily, a dog pushed him out. He didn't know where the dog came from. The mutant toad slowly retracted its tongue. He tried to run. But the toad refused to give up and shot his tongue at Joel once more, hit Joel's foot. The tongue was very sticky. Joel tried but couldn't take it off. Fortunately, the dog bit the tongue and the toad pulled back. Joel tries to run away and escape. Continuing to move, Joel suddenly fell into a hole. Under the pit are bones of animals. His dog barked loudly. Joel tried to silence the dog, but it was too late. Something was moving toward Joel. There were two people who heard dogs barking and ran towards him. Rescue him. But the danger is still behind. The mutant toad was still chasing Joel. They couldn't stop. They came to a forest. His dog suddenly got scared and hid. Joel turned. A giant centipede slowly emerged. However, the centipede had no eyes and did not know where Joel was. It uses the antennae on its head to sniff and identify prey. But in the back, the centipede stabbed Joel with its tail. Joel's dog barked loudly, attracting the centipede's attention. It began to wrap around where the dog was hiding. Joel lost her parents to such a monster, and now he has no one nearby. He can't lose this friend. He stood up and shot an arrow at the centipede's head. The centipede, enraged, turned toward Joel. On the next arrow, the centipede was defeated. Danger has temporarily passed. The next day, they continued to move. The dog continued to fear and fled. Joel perceived danger in the surroundings. It's a mutated worm. It crawls under the ground, identify prey walking on the ground. Joel threw away a toy. The giant worm rushed to the toy, rising to the ground. They try to run away, but the more they run, the faster the giant worm chases after them. The most essential thing is not to make any noise. But, suddenly the dog was agitated by a red dress in the river. The dog rushed to the river bank. Joel couldn't stand and watch. He ran towards the riverbank. He found a grenade there, throw it straight into the throat of the giant worm. When he swam ashore, he found himself being blood-sucking by leeches. Those leeches are poisonous, make him dizzy. Fortunately, he remembers that the two people who saved him before said, there is a flower that can cure all types of toxins. He plucked the flower and ate it. When he regained consciousness, Amy rescued him to the camp. They meet again. But suddenly, someone attacked him. The next day, everyone was tied up tightly. There are two people who want to take all the food. They wanted to transport that food, but they ran out of fuel. They decided to use a different vehicle, but first they had to let it eat full. Turned out it was a giant crab. It crawled up and opened its mouth. Everyone tries to run away. Joel untied himself. He found an iron rod. He rushed towards the crab, stabbed the iron bar in its throat. Joel thought the crab was dead. But the bandits pressed a button. A strong electric current rushed to the crab's body. Joel was beaten away by the crab. The crab focused its full attention on Joel. Suddenly, his dog appeared, standing in front of the giant crab. A bandit wanted to kill the dog, but was stopped by Amy. She missed and shot the crab. But the shot did not damage the giant crab. The bandit pressed the button again to stun the crab. The bandits hide under their canoe. The giant crab attacked Joel again. A bandit again pressed the stun button. The crab screamed painfully. It picked up Joel. Wanted to eat Joel's flesh, but Joel held a gun and pointed at it. The crab is probably afraid of that gun. It stops. It turned out that it was controlled by the others. It was very frightening and pitiful. It's just a human tool. Everyone behind him urged Joel to shoot the crab, but Joel didn't think so. He shot off the chain that tied the giant crab. The crab knew that Joel had saved him. He released Joel, quietly leave. It goes towards the canoe of the bandits. Without love, humans would be like monsters. But monsters, sometimes, have love as beautiful as humans. Do you like this video? What film do you want me to do next? Comment below. Like and share for more. Thanks for watching.